Hi everyone, thanks so much for being here. My name's Toby Pomeroy, and it's really a delight to have this opportunity to provide a brief update on mercury-free mining so you can be aware of what is happening, the developments that are taking place, but also I wanted to start with bringing some inspiration. I wanted to share with you some incredible people, amazing people in the world that we might not always have an opportunity to connect with, but many of them are among their miners in primarily South America and Africa that are at the cutting edge, that are really committed to producing results, to mining responsibly. And we've heard a lot today about what's not working. And I am delighted to share with you something that really is working and something that the jewelry industry can get behind, wants to be aware of and wants to be a part of, because it's a positive story with regard to mercury in mining. So this gentleman here, Manuel Reynoso, is a board member for ARM, the Alliance for Responsible Mining. He has been a miner for his whole life, and he leads miners in Peru, is someone who is highly looked up to, passionately articulate, and just an incredible human being. So he's, for me, I dedicate this presentation to Manuel, someone who is leading the fight for responsible sourcing. In 2014, after having been a jeweler, designer, goldsmith, starting in 1977, I ran across No Dirty Gold, a website, and was shocked by it, was struck by how nasty mining is, that it is something that the industry, that I wasn't aware of, and I realized that I cannot make jewelry. I will not make jewelry unless I'm devoting myself to how to make this better, to make it really a world that works, and bringing mining responsibility into reality. Now, it's been a while, but we are really making progress. This is the Grasberg mine in Papua New Guinea, and it is a large-scale mine. They do not use mercury here, but it is a major polluter. It has been, New Guinea has been a major polluter for a long time. So after declaring that I was going to make jewelry and I was going to do whatever I could to have it work, I approached Hoover and Strong, actually, and Hoover and Strong said, okay, we will recycle the metal. We will keep it separate from you, for all newly mined gold, and we will make it available. And so we started using it, and we called it Eco Gold. And the press got a hold of it. We had 23 articles that year in consumer-facing press, like Elle, Mademoiselle, Oprah, and it just took off. Our business exploded. I don't know why, I don't know exactly what's coming, but anyway, so it's really made a tremendous impact on me to realize that this, yes, really does make a difference to the public. They want to know about it, they care. So I was invited to come to this Mammoth Tusk gold mine up in the Yukon. And there, they said, we would love to have you market our gold. They did an incredible job. They took the topsoil, what they call black muck, really 6 inches of organic matter on top of the overburden, and then getting down to the gold. They moved a lot of rock, a lot of dirt, and soil. When they get done with an area, they put it back. It was like they contoured it the way it had been. Just phenomenal. Unfortunately, they went bankrupt in 2008 with the economic downturn. So we didn't get the opportunity to work with them, to have them be a source that we could actually use for responsibly mined gold. So I heard about a mine. Oh, this is a picture of that mine where they are, just the process of Mammoth Tusk gold. It was a small-scale operation, but a lot of gold got produced out of there. I learned about Oro Verde in the Chocó rainforest of Colombia, and it was an inspiring mine. I actually bought their gold first and started using Oro Verde gold, green gold. And after having used it for a while and loved how our customers just, they'd pay more for it, they'd happily pay more for it, but it wasn't something that, where was I going with that? It was just inspiring to them. So I went to the mine and visited them. And this is the Mosquera family mine in the Chocó region. And this is where Oro Verde gold came from. They mine it collectively, cooperatively. And in that process, they hand pick out the rocks from the stream bed. And together, they toss them up to each other. They pass these back and forth, making the rock, it's like a little conveyor belt, but no mechanization at all. So that the beauty of this, okay. Let's see. I don't even have a timer set. I think I'm okay here. Anyway, it's just lovely. And then this is the father, Ubaldino Mosquera, who built this. They all did, but he's working the banana plantation 3 years after it was mined. This is tailings. This is land that would just look like what you have seen before. So I joined the board of directors of the Alliance for Responsible Mining in 2010, and totally inspiring, amazing people up to incredible things. And they've been concerned about artisanal miners, and I really woke up to it. I was thinking it was just the environment, but for that, moving into that phase, it's really about the miners. If we're not caring for the miners, we will not save the environment. They will continue trashing it. That's our first priority, is the miners. And it woke me up, and through those years, since 2010, it's been a growing concern that we have mercury as an issue in the supply chain. 20 million people who use mercury virtually every day around the world, releasing 11,000 pounds of it every day, and it's virtually a permanent neurotoxin. So I started working on that, thinking about that. I visited the Cotapata mine, first fair trade mine in Bolivia. It's about 2,000 feet below the roadway, and all of their equipment they sling down on cables. And just incredible ingenuity, incredible heart, just a beautiful people that they come up and work for a week or 10 days at a time, and then go back to their families in Lima. It's not Lima, but La Paz, and do work in shifts like that. So, and then also in Bolivia is the 15 de Augusto, the 15th of August mine, and over 15,000 feet. Up where they're working, it's significantly higher. It's the highest mountain in Bolivia. But these miners work incredibly hard. It's just like a tough life. They use mercury. All of these mines, except for the first one at Mammoth Tusk Gold, was using mercury. And so you can tell I'm the only one that doesn't have a big bulge in my cheek because they're all chewing coca, and it's just an essential part for them for living at that altitude. My bulge is pretty small there. It did help. In Colombia, at the Llanada mine, in Llanada, this is the La Canada mine. It is owned in part by one of our board members, Harvey Guerrero. And Harvey he was abducted by rebels. This is a highly infiltrated area. It's been a major coca growing area, and ransomed for $20,000, shot a couple of times, fortunately survived. So they don't use mercury. They have been consistently standing for no pollution in our community. They brought the military in. The military has supported them in keeping the rebels out, and since that's all mostly died down. So this is a community, and when I went there, I met with the board of the cooperative, of the Cunha Cooperative, who were the workers who, it's a concentration plant. It's basically a plant that all the miners in the region would bring their ores to. And I wanted to meet them, and they said, "Why did you come?" And I said that I came because I wanted to tell their story. I wanted to sell their gold. I wanted to tell their story. This was the best gold I'd ever found. And it was, I wanted the whole world to know that they are leading the world in terms of the way they're mining. This is a model. And the elder in that board meeting stood up, and I could see tears beginning in his eyes. And he said, you know, he said, I never thought this would happen. I thought we would always do this and no one would know and no one would appreciate it. And then he said, bring empanadas and Colombian coffee, and it was one of the best moments of my life, that realizing the difference that a small act will make, how much it means to people around the world who are basically working for us. They mine 20% of the world's gold. Most of them use mercury, increasingly, and it is they have no alternatives. So we have a tremendous opportunity here, a very exciting opportunity to support them as an industry. How's my time, by the way? I don't have a timer up here, so I'm good. I was invited to speak to a community also in Colombia, very, very mercury saturated in the El Bagre region. And so on the way there to meet with the San Antonio community, I met this lady alongside the road. And her name is, let's see, Garcia. Anyway, she's been mining her whole life. Her husband is sitting across. He's blind. She is going blind. And she has been mining these streams her whole life. Her children are all miners. They all use mercury, as will their grandkids. So it is, she's 62 years old. I visited the school there in the community, and realizing that all of these kids, by now, many of them are actually mining, where the mercury impacts most deadly in the young people, the developing neurology. So we've got a huge opportunity here to make a difference in these communities. I visited there I visited there this year, so I'll share more about that. This is our board of directors. I said, who's the best person I can think of that I'd want to have with me? I went to Bill Boyajian, former lead of the GIA. For 20 years, he was their president. And also Eric Laker and Mariel Diaz, and also Brandy Dallow is in the room, fantastic, and Ronnie Vanderlinden, Diamex, and Michelle Graff, from National Jeweler, and Avi Levy from IGI. So this is our goal. We also added Mark Hanna. He's part of us now, and not pictured as Kaylin Barand, who is an incredible young mining engineer who attends all of our board meetings. So this is who we are. And so we were invited, when this news hit about, I was working with a man named John Richmond who developed the gold drop. And how many of you were here when he presented the gold drop a few years ago, right? 3 or 4 years ago. And so we were invited to go to Ghana to demonstrate the gold drop. We went there, and the miners were fascinated. They loved it. Oh, by the way, this is a rarity in Ghana. Is the woman, Odebea is the mine owner here. It's an alluvial mine. They use mercury, they use a lot of it, and because it just allows them to make a little bit more money. This is the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, the group that invited us to come. And at their final report, they said, the organization said, this is fantastic. We see this could be a real breakthrough for Ghana. They have 1 million miners in Ghana, virtually all use mercury, and they have no clean water. They have no clean water. It doesn't have mercury in it. So the clergy just is announced basically weeks of fasting and prayer. We've got to do something about mercury in our country. So they said this is the best we've seen, but it's not there. It will not perform at the level that we need it to. Okay, fine. So we came back. They were planning to come to the U.S. and meet with us and help develop. John in developing his technology, bring their ore samples. But as it turned out, COVID, right then. And so nobody came. The leader of this organization, Festus Kusi, died, unfortunately, and so everything kind of lost its steam. But in 2020, we started working with the GIA, and Kim Chino was really the lead in this. She was the person who took a stand for it, and we talked for 2 years to start this project, because I mentioned Kalen Baran. He had an idea. Let's do a ore testing program, compare it with processors, make a catalog of those, and make that available to everyone. So we're analyzing the particular ore type that comes from the mine, and then match it with processors and make that open source and publicly available. So GIA said yes, courageous, huge. I mean, it's a big reputational thing for GIA to come aboard and say, we will support this effort to eradicate mercury in artisanal small-scale gold mining. That really has launched us in a tremendous way, brought awareness to our initiative to a fantastic degree. This last year, when I went to a board meeting in Colombia, I had an opportunity to go back to San Antonio, where Maria Garcia was mining in the stream. And when I met with them before, they were just ecstatic. They said, yes, we want to be the test community. We want to be the place, and whenever you find something that will work, we want to be part of it. So we knew that this particular gold drop that I mentioned earlier was performing well in our trials. I wanted to see if they would be open to doing a test program there. They said absolutely. They would love it. They would love to be a part of that, and so ARM has been in conversation with them about being part of the Sustainable Mines program. But it is, there needs to be an assessment. There's a number of things they have to do first. But they're just delightful people, amazing family. They invited us to stay. My photographer said, well, we don't want to stay. But anyway, but this is what it's like for them. Let's see if I have sound. This is, oh wait. They have the rights to pan in the rivers after these folks have left. Now this is a legal operation. They'll use mercury for sure. And their land is just being devastated. There's nothing they can do about it. But everyone has to use mercury, and they're eking out a living by following in the tailwash, the backwash of these mines. So we exist to eradicate mercury from gold mining, and we're making really great progress. I'm just damned excited. And let me walk through our mission. How we fulfill our mission is we utilize a novel process that analyzes the ore samples and tests innovative processors' efficiency in capturing gold. We create a publicly available database from that of the most efficient mercury-free processors for that ore type. Then we introduce the most efficient processors to the particular mining communities. We reduce mercury pollution and increase their profits. So we also are committed to developing responsible, from the Sustainable Mines program, gold supply chains that connect jewelers and artisanal small-scale gold mining communities, mutually benefiting everyone from the production of mercury-free gold. So we're out to really leverage the power of the jewelry industry. The jewelry industry is incredibly powerful. We don't have any idea what would happen if we had like 10% of the industry said, we're behind this. We are going to support mercury-free mining. We're going to support the efforts to find a solution. Doesn't matter if it's mercury-free mining. Sorry. But something to deal with mercury, just an immense opportunity. And what's missing is fundamentally a stand. So our reports, this is Kalen Baran, by the way, absolutely brilliant, four-point student at University of Arizona. He is running, he's just been hired to manage one of their programs in the geology department there, I think. But he is amazing, and he's the one who came up with this whole testing program. So 5 different concentrators were tested. I don't need to go through it necessarily. I'll send all these slides out to everyone at the end. I'll make all this available. So the Gold Drop is being recommended. It was the best one. Gold Drop is the technology that will save them from 30, this is the Cruz Plata mine, will save them from 30 to 50% on their concentrates and their tailings. So a huge, we have to test it on the ground now and find out if they want to test it, but if they find the same kind of results, if it makes them more money, they will do it. They will make that change. So if it doesn't make more profits, they won't. They'll keep using mercury. So these are our funders, and you see up at the upper left, I have ethical metalsmiths. Ethical metalsmiths have been who got us off the ground. The jewelers in that organization, I should say this organization, because there are many ethical metalsmith members here, but it's phenomenal. I mean, I can't thank you enough for your courage, your conviction, your trust, your vision to financially support us to get us off the ground, and phenomenal. And then you'll recognize JCK Industry Fund as well. What a courageous act for them to say, we got to take this on. We got to support mercury-free mining, even though it's a big, kind of like a skunk in the room for the jewelry industry, but we've got to deal with it. So the leadership here has been phenomenal. So the industry is on track. Check it out.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live it. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
Millions, 20 million people make their living mining with mercury, and 100 million people whose lives depend on them. We buy their gold. We stand with them. This is a opportunity, a tremendous opportunity for the jewelry industry. First, to avoid, to sidestep a potential reputational backlash from the fact that we aren't doing something. But by coming together, we elevate ourselves. We demonstrate to the world who's increasingly concerned about what are we up to? What are we doing that really is making a difference in the quality of life? You heard that in the room next door. We are keep running against barrier by barrier by barrier. We have something that we are developing that is a positive story, that is a great ESG story to have. So I'm inviting you, if you haven't yet done so, please take out your phone, scan that, and come onto our website, sign up, donate. We need money. We need lots of money to get this done. You have any idea? Look, but I don't care. Volunteer. Let us know what you're good at. Let us know how you would like to be engaged. We're actually looking for a what's the word? Everything. We're looking for social media, managing director, and technology person. We need to grow this thing because the world wants this to happen, and we are here at the right time to do this, to make this kind of difference. So I just thank you so much for your commitment. I know I'm speaking to the choir and the minister as well. So thank you for all that you do, and it's just our honor to have you here, and we'd love to partner with you. We'd love to have you sign up, get our newsletter. Let us know if there's something that you can do. Donate, of course, but if it's somewhere else, fine. But do act. We need action. Let me just final little thing here. Am I okay on time still?
Yeah, it's 107.
107. Okay. I've been to, I think, 3 of Martin Rappaport's breakout sessions at the JCK Industry. And Martin brings all these people together, and everybody talks about what are they concerns? ESG, environment, all of that. What's your concerns? Everybody said this. The last one that we had, or 2 years ago, was virtually everyone said we need to come together for something. We need to align our industry on something. Everybody loves gold. Everybody relies on gold, whether you're diamonds, gold. It's just an opportunity that is created absolutely perfectly for us. So I'm going to close and give you an opportunity to ask questions or make comments, please. Please.
Quick note, your donate link seems to be broken. So let's get that updated so we can donate. And I was just wondering if you could explain the gold drop process real
Yes,
quick,
I can.
briefly.
I'll say it very quickly and easy, and you can find it on the website. Gold drop is an elutriation system, which means there's a vortex of water that the gold ore is dropped into. It swirls all the particles, and it lifts and carries the lighter particles out, and gold and some other heavy minerals, platinum will drop out as well. So that's a really simple, basic answer to that. We'll get right on that website. By the way, if you stay on the website, you'll find the donate button that works. Yeah, it's there. Okay,
We
anybody
need
else?
money for that.
Any other questions, comments? I mean, I really do. I want everyone to be part of this.
I just have one comment.
Please,
Because
Randy.
you know that I push you for this all the time. I think that, Toby's passion is incredible, and, we all need to follow it. There's other organizations that are involved in this, and I think the key to us making a big difference is collaboration. We cannot do this alone, and so who else in this space can we align with? If you know of anyone, or, talk to you, Jen,
Yeah.
also. It's so important, because if we all split, then none of the miners get the benefits. If we come together in our efforts, then the miners will be the ones who will get everything they need out of this. So I really think that we need to think about this in a collaborative approach.
Yeah, beautifully said, Brandy. And it is actually, we are clear that unless we bring everybody who's interested in this, committed to this together, it will never happen. So, right on, thank you.
I'm also excited to see that GIA, JCK have some more significant industry entities that are paying attention, that are funding, putting their money where their mouth is, and actually helping. And again, I would just say, how can ethical metalsmiths continue to help you? What can we do? What can our community do to support and elevate this mission?
Beautiful.
And unite.
Yes, exactly. So I'm in conversation with Barbara and also the Executive Director, Barbara Wheat, and also Brandy and I and a number of board members are collaborating on how we can pull this together and really build something, a coalition, a movement, a tsunami. Good.
I'll just jump in and say, like, ditto, Toby. I mean, I love Toby's energy, and I feel like we both, I have things in my back that say exactly what you say up here, the jewelry industry can help solve the mercury pollution problem. So I feel like we're totally, aligned, same messaging, little frustration, right? Because like this group is the group that really gets it and understands and is truly doing things. And while money, I say not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money for the larger companies that really have the power to make some change. I think that's what's really, 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 really lacking. Because this isn't going to solve itself. We do need the larger industry to focus more than just their mouths on it.
Exactly.
It's got to be. It simply has to be funding. And I think a lot of the solutions that we're talking about are solutions that we all believe are scalable. That we're not just going into one little community and bringing one little solution. It's really about figuring out how these are solutions that are scalable within certain regions, and getting that enthusiasm going amongst miners who all want to jump in and connect to the market. So, yeah, same exact messaging.
Right. Yeah. So by the way, Jim Maricino from Pure Earth And absolutely, so we have collaborated, we're looking to expand that. It's essential in this whole matter.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you in person because I've heard a lot about you. My name is Andrea Jose, I'm Peruvian.
Yes.
And I really wanted to kind of understand what is exactly, so this solution, this is a technical solution, and for us that we're working directly with the miners, efficiency in the mining processes is fundamental. I mean, because this is mainly one of the causes of mercury pollution, you know, because if there is no efficiency, there are no solutions that are bringing efficiency to the processes of mining. The miners just keep digging all around, keep deforesting more, they keep doing more of this work. One, if we have good solutions that allow us to recover the material in specific areas, this is great. I mean, this is really necessary, super important. So,
Yes.
I mean, I would like to talk to you to understand more about the gold drop solution, because I think some miners could be interested with Pure Earth to implement it in the sites. So.
Right. Yeah. Andrea, thank you so much. It's really a delight to meet you, and thank you for your work. So yeah, and gold drop it may be the solution for these particular miners in the Puno district. They're using alluvial ores, a particular type of alluvial ores. It won't be a magic bullet. We're going to have to find solutions for there might be some overlap, but we'll be needing to find solutions for all the different ore types so we can actually scale this. But we're on the board. We're really making a difference here. Thank you. Jen?
Are you guys, I know you were doing the kind of X Prize idea, you know, because it seems like the technology is really the thing that's going to solve this problem.
It is.
So what are you guys doing as far as finding that talent to create the technology?
It's great. Thank you for that. We're talking to you, and that's how we're doing it. You know, I mean, nobody wants to pay attention to this unless there's money in it, or a reputational risk, or perhaps a reputational opportunity now is starting to develop. But you know, none of the big companies want to participate with us yet. Until just recently, we are seeing this. Lashbrook has been stalwart with us. But it's in answer to that, I think they need to know that there's a groundswell. They need to know that there are people who are paying attention. So when GIA came in, others, like Brinks said, okay, we're in. Brinks is in for this year as well. But I think that spreading the word, having our logo on your website, whether you donate or not, and we have special buttons little badges if you donate, but nonetheless, it's really something that is spreading the word, getting this. It's time for it to go viral.
So, sorry, I just want to.
Yeah.
Have you guys been approaching like engineering colleges and universities?
Not much yet. Not much. We're basically working on operation funding. So we haven't had the funding to reach out, to have to bring this in. But back to that question about the grand challenge, the $1 million prize and the X Prize, that the industry was not up for it, right? So we pulled back, realized that we have to have information on the ground. We have to be demonstrating some solutions so that people will be willing to fund those. People aren't willing to fund ideas for the most part. They want to see solutions. So that is it's happening. We're actually, this little development here with Gold Drop is something that will, if that works in the mine, this particular mine, that is big news. This could impact, Kaylin suggests that we could be in touch with 75% of all the artisanal miners within 5 years, if this works. And I mean, not necessarily that they'll be deployed, but they can be aware. And so this is a momentum, a leverage matter that we don't know how much difference we make individually. We do.
But can I just add, Jen, I think you were saying this as well, Toby, it's really not just the technology. Like, the technology is not all that complicated. It's various forms of gravity and water to separate out the gold. It's really about connecting these miners to the market. It's like, if we find a technology, that is not going to solve the issue of mercury pollution. It's building trust with the miners, building comprehensive projects, and connecting to the market that values the fact that they are mining safely. It's working with governments to put proper regulations in place. Like, I just don't want us to think that the challenge is creating a particular technology to separate out the mercury and get rid of it. That is one small piece of it. And if we think that it's like just bringing in a technology, we're really going to be going down the wrong path. Because what it is, like, if we don't have companies valuing miners that make the shift and doing things like, fair mines, paying for fair mine gold, one way to get it to market, right? Or looking at other ways to get it to the market that values their commitment, the technology is not going to solve the issue. So I just gold is heavier than the rock. So various forms of gravitational separation are going to work, whether it's a shaking table, it's the gold drop, it's different things. Like Toby said, the testing of the ore that they're doing, each community is a little bit different, but there's not a magic bullet of a technology that's going to like, oh my gosh, we found it, and now everyone's not going to use mercury anymore. Like, it's really about, like this, the jewelry industry can help solve the mercury. It's the industry as a whole, because 80% of gold is used by the jewelry industry. There are it's in electronics, it's in dentistry, but 80% is the jewelry industry. So it's really getting these larger companies, maybe that are connected to the RJCs and that are aware of it, to truly, it's not an easy thing to talk about, right? How do you talk about it and have people still want to buy gold jewelry and talk about this issue? It's complicated and difficult, but just to emphasize, it's really a comprehensive solution.
And
that's
Jen,
a
thank you for
big
that.
piece of it, though. The
Yeah.
gold, like this, when you find these things, this is perfect for Ghana and this mine.
A lot of it, yeah. And I'm still in the camp of technology additionally. I think we are leaps and bounds making technological progress, making things, accomplishing things that we never could have even dreamed of. We've got that. And we have, if we can get some funding, we will go to AlphaGo, Google's computer, and we'll put all the mercury information, all the chemical, all the information about mercury and gold, and it will come up with a solution for us that scientists can go to work on. It might not be for bullet, the magic one, but it could be for particular ore types, really the most common ones. We've got so much power here. So I really, really thank you for all of this. I think we have to get back for lunch, do we? Get back for the next session? Is it quarter after?
20 after.
20.
Oh, 20. Thank you so much for staying long. It's a delight to have this opportunity.